everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. If you watched my video where I created this fun little unicorn using the Everyday Moments Cricut collection, I promised you that I would create a reimagined layout using that magical key. Today I'm going to show you how I turned that unicorn into a deer for a Christmas scrapbook page. Along with the Everyday Moments collection, I am going to be using the Blue Skies product pack. Now this is only available during May for National Scrapbooking Month. How fun are these stickers? You can see they kind of have a shiny UV coating on them, and these patterns are gorgeous. It is very hard to find Christmas papers in May, but you can see there are quite a few of these patterns that have Christmas colors in them. And when I go to make my layout, you will be able to see how I used these on a Christmas scrapbook page. Not only does the Blue Skies collection have an amazing array of paper patterns, we have some UV coated patterned cardstock. It has this lovely UV pattern on the front, and there's a plain color on the back. This UV coating mimics the UV coating on our sticker sheet. Even though this paper pack is intended for summer, I was able to pick out quite a few Christmas colors from it. So now that you know the list of supplies I used and which Cricut collection I used, let me show you how I reimagined that unicorn image into a deer for my Christmas layout. I'm going to go into my image library, choose image sets, and search for the Everyday Moments Cricut collection. I'm going to go ahead and filter purchased, and there it is. As I open it up, I'm able to find that magical layout and insert it into my canvas. The first thing I want to do is ungroup this image and delete all of the parts and pieces I will not be using on my Christmas layout. To delete images you will not use, you can click on the image and choose delete in the layers panel. You can click on the red X, or you can click the delete key on your keyboard. Now I'm just going to pull apart all of these images so I can get a better look at them. Some of them include multiple images in one layer. So you can see those three dots are all one layer. The horn is also all one layer, so it is attached to each of those ears. Before I show you how to get rid of that unicorn horn, I'm going to go ahead and delete each one of those colorful inserts. So again, I'm just going over to the layers panel, selecting each layer and clicking that delete icon. As I pull this horn away from the other images, you can see that it is 3 images in one single layer, 2 ears and the horn. I only need the ears for my deer. So I'm going to use the contour feature to get rid of the horn. When I click on contour, a new window opens up and I can get rid of the contours or cut lines I do not want cut out in this image. I've just gone ahead and selected just the 2 ears I want to keep, and now the horn will no longer cut out of this unicorn image. Now I need to find some antlers for my deer. I'm going to go into images and get out of the image sets here by clicking image sets at the top, which brings me to the search bar where I can search for a specific deer image. I'm also going to click on the ownership filter so that I can click on purchased images and only see the images I own. There is an image with a little badge and 2 antlers I plan on using for my design. Now I do want to check and see which image set this comes from. So I'm clicking the info button, clicking view image sets, and it says it's from the You Are Here collection. I have found that most images in a collection have a similar design, so I always like to scroll through those image sets and see if there are some similar images that will go well with the project I'm working on. I've inserted those additional images along with the antlers into my canvas. And now I'm going to go ahead and delete the badge portion of that antler image and try to resize these antlers. These antlers are attached together in one layer, and it's making it very difficult for me to resize them. So I'm going to use the contour feature again and separate out each one of these layers. The first thing I need to do is duplicate those layers, then select one layer, use the hide contour feature to get rid of one of the antlers, and repeat the process with the duplicated layer. Now I have 2 separate antlers that I can resize to fit those ears from my unicorn image. Through the magic of video editing, I have resized those images and changed the material color so it looks more like a deer. Now I want to use those flower images to create some really fun Christmassy looking flowers. Remember that UV coated red and yellow cardstock from the Blue Skies collection? That's what I plan on using for these flowers so that they have some wonderful layers along with some bits of vellum. So I am just layering them up, resizing them, and recreating my own flowers using the images from that magical unicorn key. The magical unicorn key also includes that title, Magical, which is also a great title for a Christmas page. I have gone ahead and inserted a banner and placed that magical title atop the banner, and now all of the design is complete, so I can start cutting it out on my Cricut. Now we can start assembling the layout. Here I have some white daisy cardstock and some cut Blue Skies paper. The main portion of the page is this background sheet with this Dream Lives Here title, and I've divided that right in half across the page. I'm just going to go ahead and start adhering everything down onto that white daisy cardstock to build my background. I am really loving all of the patterns in this Blue Skies paper collection. Even though it's intended for our summer photos, this is working perfectly for a Christmas layout. Remember, this collection is only available during May, so make sure you click on that link in the description to grab yourself a pack. I have grabbed some photos from when we were unwrapping gifts at Christmas, and each one of them has been backed in some sapphire cardstock, except for that one there over on the left, which will have a pretty red frame around it. Right now I'm just kind of dry fitting them onto the page so I can make sure I like the way they look. These photos give you a little bit of insight to all of the personalities when we are opening gifts at Christmas. I just love seeing those ornery smiles and excited faces. Now I'm going to start putting together some of those embellishments I created on my Cricut for this page. I'm going to start with that red Polaroid frame, which is often difficult to line up with the photo. I always start by just placing a little bit of adhesive along the bottom, and then I line it up against the background piece. Once that's in place, I can tuck the photo inside and make sure that it's all nice and lined up around that frame. Once the photo is in place, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a little bit of liquid adhesive and place the frame down around the photo. I'm going to decorate the base of this photo frame with some white burlap ribbon. I've chosen to do this so that I can bring some of that brown color from the deer over onto the left side of the layout. After wrapping this ribbon around the bottom of the frame, you will see a bit of that heart showing, and that is just fine because I plan on covering it with one of our new embellishments from the May catalog. Before adding that deer to the page, I do want to show you how I assembled a few of these pieces. So you can see here are the ears, and I did sand the edges of the espresso cardstock just to help them pop up off that dark blue paper. That was really easy to do with a sanding block. I've also already assembled the bow from the white daisy cardstock and white glitter paper. I did also use that sanding block on the edges of these flowers. This is just going to help them pop up off the page. So let's go ahead and start assembling each one of these flowers using some 3D foam dots. When I assemble 3D flowers, I like to use both thin and thick 3D foam dots. Sometimes I will layer them up twice, like I did on the bottom layer. Other times I will just add a single layer of foam dots. And sometimes I will use thick and thin interchangeably, depending on how much dimension I want on the flower. Now you can see here I am adding foam in between each one of those vellum layers. Since they are going to be covered with the yellow center of each flower, it's okay to add the foam dots because they will not be seen under that yellow center. For those who want to know the order of the foam dots, I did a thick and thin together between the two red layers. I did a thick between the two vellum layers. I did a thin dot between the vellum and the red layer, and then I just adhered the yellow center on top. So here's something that happened as I was putting together the right page. Those eyelashes are divided right down the center between the two pieces of paper, and visually this is not appealing. So I'm going to go ahead and take apart this layout, cut a piece of that UV coated cardstock, and change the design of the right side of the layout. Now that I've made that change, I can go ahead and start adding all of those pieces onto the right page. So we have this red banner that's been cut from that UV coated red cardstock, and behind that I have some white glitter snowflakes and a couple of trees that I cut from evergreen cardstock. I did sand the edges of these trees like I did on the ears of the deer and on the flowers, just so that they popped off the page a little bit more. I'm going to start gluing down those antlers and those little ears. Once those are in place, I can use some foam tape to add the flowers. I do realize that these flowers are a bit bulky for some people's taste in a scrapbook page. If you're not fond of the bulk, you can use less foam tape. These bright colored leaves were cut from that Blue Skies UV coated cardstock, and I did sand the edges just like I did on all of the other pieces. I've also cut some branches from the evergreen cardstock, which matches the trees. So if we take a look at those little leaves, you'll be able to see just a hint of that UV coating. There's some little lines on it, and there's some sanding right around the edges. I've placed that white glitter bow on top of those flowers, and I'm going to start putting down that magical title. I'm starting over on the left, and I'm going to work my way to the right just so I can make sure I get the spacing correct. The whole time I was adding this title, I kept looking at the bow thinking it didn't quite fit with the layout. Ultimately, I did decide to get rid of it. It didn't feel like it fit with the layout, but I did keep it for another project later. I have added that tree embellishment over on the left side of the page, and I am adding some stars over on the right. The stars also came from that magical layout. I've decided that I wanted to add a few stickers from that Blue Sky sticker sheet. I like the UV coating, and I like some of the colors that some of these stickers have. They do match my layout. The first sticker I'm going to use is this journaling block sticker, and I'm placing it right next to a picture of my husband, who is attempting to unwrap a gift that has been wrapped in saran wrap and wrapped in duct tape and electrical tape. Christmas gifts are never boring at our house. The second sticker will cover the Dreams Live Here that is part of the background sheet. I felt like the Life is Sweet sticker matched the flowers and fit with the theme of Christmas. To match the burlap ribbon on the photo, I did create a few loops of burlap threads to tuck behind that Life is Sweet sticker. One of our newest embellishments in the May-June catalog are these wooden buttons. I can see myself using these on a ton of projects. On this layout, I have threaded some of that burlap thread through the button. I'm using my poker tool to fray the ends, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick it down onto the photo frame using some glue dots. I have also added a wooden button onto a little heart sticker over here above the magical title. Now my magical Christmas layout is complete. Off camera, I did add some stitching using some green thread for some texture and a little bit of whimsy. I do have quite a few more photos from Christmas, so I want to finish the layouts before I start adding journaling to each one of these journaling sections. This originally started out as a unicorn layout in the Everyday Moments collection. I turned the unicorn into a Christmas deer, and I used the magical title to fit with my Christmas theme. This is my Everyday Moments magical layout reimagined. I took all of those images, put them all together with those beautiful Blue Skies papers, and created a fun, whimsical layout full of Christmas memories. But I didn't stop there, my friends. If you visit my website, you will see a collection of heat transfer vinyl. I decided to use the Everyday Moments magical unicorn key and create this adorable makeup bag. Are you able to pick out those images I used from the Everyday Moments collection? I used our HTV vinyl along with my little heat press mini to create this makeup bag. I've got some gorgeous glitter eyelashes, some gold stars, that magical title, and a few other images from the Everyday Moments collection. This would make such a fun project to do with your little girls while you're at home or to give as a bridesmaid gift. In the coming weeks, I will be posting a tutorial showing you how to make one of your own magical makeup bags. If you would like to see that tutorial, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification icon so that you are notified when new videos are added to my channel. If you would like to see more projects using Everyday Moments, you can click on that collection icon above. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.